One part of the process improvement program is the type of A3s that you just saw demonstrated, and as the team showed, they had some tremendous results. Another part of it, and probably a larger part in terms of how many people get involved, is the IDEAS program. And at this point, what we want to do is highlight some of those ideas that have been implemented here, and then we will introduce, as I said, the world premiere of a wonderful video event.
Okay, so the IDEA system, we're doing great. I think yesterday, Bill pulled the number from the database, and we have over 600 ideas from Wing in the database, and that's huge. And that actually happens to be over 50% of the total ideas in the database. So we account for more than 50% of all the ideas in the whole UMass system. So congratulations to you guys. All right, so like George said, we're gonna walk around. I chose a few of the ideas that I wanted to showcase, and we're gonna talk to those people and find out a little more about them. So first on the list is Evelyn Belanger. All right, so tell us who you are and where you're from.
My name is Evelyn, and I'm from Germany. No, I'm the Med-Surg Assistant Nurse Manager.
All right, so what was the problem you were having?
The problem we were having is that we were wasting a lot of paper, killing a lot of trees with the welcome packets that we were having, because they'd go into a patient room, they'd read it, they'd throw it in the garbage.
Yeah, that sounds like a problem, and a huge waste of paper and all that. So what'd you guys do about it?
Well, Lori Novick and Pam Carone were the ones who really initiated this. I just kind of followed through. And what we did is a lot of the stuff that doesn't change was laminated, put into this nice little book with a beautiful picture of Wing Memorial Hospital. And now what they do is it gets cleaned every time a patient leaves, so it's sanitized and cleaned so that there's no germs. And everything that stays the same stays in here. Things like the healthcare proxy and the Wing Champions of Care gets handed to the patient, and they can fill that out. But it's much less waste because now we're not going through binders, we're not going through paperwork.
Wow, that's a great idea. So, thank you. All right, so next on the list is Kathy Fredette. All right, so Kathy, tell us who you are and where you're from.
My name is Kathy Fredette, and I work in the Palmer Medical Center.
Okay, so what was the problem you guys were having?
Well, one of my responsibilities is ordering the forms, as you can see, the various amount of forms for different clinics. And what was happening is, you know, the girls might be in a hurry, use the last form, and then when it comes time to order it, I don't have a copy of the form, which I like to send down to the print shop. So what I decided to do one day is laminate every form, so I can stick the form, you know, each one of the forms in the slot, so they can't use the last form. I'll have one. If I need to, you know, if someone does by mistake, I can always print that off to send to Sheila. And another thing I do is I don't put it all the way to the bottom. I leave maybe about that much space. So when I do order them, there's enough forms left, you know, so they don't run out before the next batch comes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I heard it works like a charm. All right. So next is our man of the food, Mr. Scott. All right. So tell us who you are and where you're from.
I'm Scott Kaduri. I'm the food service director here at Wing.
All right, Scott. So what was the problem you were having?
So I guess like a lot of departments, we run pretty much 2 shifts and we run through the weekends. So I wanted to capture our huddles for the other shifts instead of having to schedule more huddles throughout the week or the weekend. So I got this idea more from my kids with their iPhones, their iPads, taking little short videos. So the idea was, and it's a work in progress still, was to use my iPhone, capture our huddles, download those, and then the other staff could just log in, look at the videos, and everybody would get word for word what happened in the huddles, and they could share their ideas at the same time. Again, work in progress. iPhone didn't work. We moved over to a very inexpensive camera. I just move it to a storage chip. The chip gets saved to the computer, and they can log in and watch the video at their convenience. So it gives them the opportunity when they have an opportunity on their shift to be able to watch the video. So.
All right, thank you, Scott. And so when the Healthcare Value Network was here a few months ago, they did a tour of the hospital, and one of the places they toured was food services, and he took a video of Scott explaining his video. So we're going to show you that video right now. All right, so we gotta pause, restart, and change the amp for the computer.
Hey, Peter! You look good, Scott.
Exactly what I said the last time, and a lot of that stuff's just working. So they'll get the same exact message. The only thing they wouldn't get is the people that look at this afterwards. Usually it's not a group, it might be one or two individuals. That banter's not coming, that one-on-one, or that group interaction is not as much. But I tell them if they have questions after the huddle to share that stuff with me or a supervisor.
So that might be something that Evelyn could look at using up in Surge. You know, she was talking about how she doesn't get to all the shifts, and
So I'm doing a video of you talking about your video huddle. So you want to just basically say again what you're trying to accomplish by this idea?
What I'm trying to do is word for word capture the huddle so I can share that with the second shift and my weekend crew, because there is not a scheduled huddle on those during those time periods.
Cool. And this great idea was brought to you by Wing Memorial Hospital. There we go.
Okay, so I am back on. All right, so let's go back to the presentation. And next on the list is Betsy. All right, so hold on. You gotta tell us who you are and where you're from.
My name is Betsy from the lab, and we had a very simple just do it. We were aliquoting water every single day so that we would have fresh water for a test. And then somebody came up with the idea, well, we haven't done this test in about 1.5 years, so why are we still aliquoting the water? So we discontinued it. It was a very easy just do it, but it saved a little bit of time and a little bit of supplies. We can still get the water when we need to, but it's not a daily routine. So simple, just do it.
Awesome. It also saves the mental energy of going, why are we doing this?
Realize.
All right, thank you. Okay, last but certainly not least is George. All right, George, tell us about your problem.
Went around looking at huddles, and Nancy did a good job of getting those going. The huddles in many areas were working quite well, but often it was the same leader doing all the huddles. And in order to get others involved, we started looking at that and said, why won't other people get involved in leading the huddles? Why are they reluctant to step up and take on that role? And so we came up with Huddle Buddy cards, which simply break the task in half and say one is a leader and one is the person who scribes and makes sure it stays on time and so on. Laminated them, and then as we go around to each of the huddles, have been delivering the Huddle Buddy cards to the huddles.